So, how have you been getting on with your exam preparation success planner? Has it helped you to stay focused and on task? I hope it has. I hope it's something that you're referring to and that is supporting you with helping your child with their 7+ exam preparation. So today I wanted to discuss maths in the 7+ and specifically addition and subtraction. So of course in the 7+ there is a vast amount of curriculum to cover for mathematics, and you will need to cover that with your child, whether you do tuition with me or with someone else, or you choose to teach your child by yourself. You will need to cover all of the aspects of maths in the curriculum in year 1. You need to cover everything. And I also teach all of the curriculum in year 2 by the time they're at that stage. I do start early, but depending on where you are sitting, the level of the assessments are very high. And I think this is something that surprises parents, because if you're not sure of the expectation, if you're not sure of the level that your child needs to be, then of course it's going to be tricky to prepare them. So of course, if and when you start working with me, I will be able to tell you exactly what is expected of your child for the schools that you have chosen. And that is the level that we prepare. So of course it depends when you're starting, but of course I would imagine your child is currently in year 1. I do have students who start with me in reception. So if that's you, brilliant. You will still want to be starting with the year 1 curriculum, depending on where your child is ability-wise. And you will cover all of the different aspects of the mathematical curriculum, and then you will move on and you will revisit what you've covered. You need to always be revisiting because your child needs to commit it to memory. And I'm not about children memorizing things. I want the children that I teach to be very proficient and very able in what they're doing. I don't want them to memorize. I want them to truly understand what they're doing. And that's what I do when I teach them. So let's focus on addition and subtraction. So for addition and subtraction for the 7+, your child will need to be able to know different strategies for addition and subtraction. What do I mean by this? What I mean is there are many different strategies to add and subtract. So if we look at subtraction as an example, when you subtract, you can count on, you can count back, you can use an empty number line, you can use tens and ones by partitioning, you can use the column method, lots of different strategies. Now, what I see when I've been tutoring my students is when they start with me, they want to just focus on one method. And that's the method that they're super comfortable with, and that's the method that they will choose. However, this will take them too long in an assessment. And if they go into an assessment not having been taught or not having been exposed to a variety of different strategies, then of course they're going to stick to what they know. So please do always encourage your child to use different strategies. Not always on paper. Some strategies you can do mentally, and I do encourage my students not to do it on paper. Some I do, and I do want them to use the column method. So for the 7+, I do teach them up to 4-digit addition and subtraction. And we do the column method, and they do need to know how to exchange when they do the column method. And I will teach them this. And if you're teaching your child yourself, you will need to teach them this, and they need to know how to do it. Missing number questions come up a lot. So when you have the column method and you have different numbers missing in different parts of the calculation, that needs quite a lot of work, and that needs quite a lot of good understanding. Your child will be able to use bar models and be able to identify the missing number. They will be able to use fact families and understand fact families. They will be able to use the greater than and less than symbol to compare calculations. They will be able to solve worded problems and reasoning. That's very important. Depending on the school you're sitting, Some schools are huge on problem solving and reasoning. Actually, most schools are huge on this. And what they're looking for children who have a deeper understanding of what is being asked of them. Of course, if you give a child a sum or a calculation, they'll be able to see, well, I need to do this. But if it's a worded problem where they need to really, really understand what's being asked of them, I really focus quite heavily on problem solving and reasoning. Adding and subtracting on a number line, you can jump back or you can jump forwards. So that is addition and subtraction. So for your aspects of learning for this week, as an example, so aspect number 1 could be to add on. Aspect number 2 could be to count back. And aspect number 3 could be to solve subtraction using the column method. So I hope that was helpful and gives you something to think about and something to work on with your child this week. Please do email me if you need any more support with anything at all. And I will see you next week for your next video.